Tonight we are finishing off Chapter 3 with Lesson 8, Divide Decimals by Decimals. So our goal for this chapter is to be able to divide decimals by decimals. When we divide decimals by decimals, we work with the powers of 10. So let's look at this. If we have 10 times 5, that equals 50. 100 times 5 is equal to 500. 1,000 times 5 is equal to 5,000. What we are basically doing when we are working with powers of 10 is we're taking the decimal and moving it one place because there is 1 0 in 10. With 100 times 5, we took the decimal, which was behind 5, and moved it two places because there are 2 zeros in 100. Same thing with 5 and 1,000 is we added 3 zeros to 5 because there are 3 zeros in 1,000. So whenever we multiply by the power of tens, we look to see how many zeros do I have in a number. And then we add that many decimal places accordingly. When dividing by decimals, change the divisor into a whole number. To do this, multiply both the divisor and the dividend by the same power of 10. Then divide as with whole numbers. Now we talked about how we can't divide by decimals, so we need to multiply. So if we look at this, we can see that we have 0.9. Well, I don't know the multiplication facts for 0.9, so I'm going to take my power of 10 and multiply 0.9 times 10. Well, when I do that, that just means that I take my decimal, which was before my 9, and I move it one time back. So now I have just 9. So, but whatever I do to the divisor, I have to do to the dividend. So I'm going to come here and move the decimal one time also because I moved it one time. Now I just have 9 divided into 17.1. And then I just do it as I would a regular division problem. So 9 goes into 17 one time. 1 times 9 is 9. Subtract that. 17 minus 9 is 8. Bring down my 1. Bring up my decimal. And 9 goes into 81. 9 times 9 is 81. Subtract. I have no more come on downs. So my answer is 1.9. Let's try two more problems. So here we have 0.4 goes into 52. Again, I need to multiply by the power of 10, so I'm going to move my decimal behind my 4. My decimal here is behind my 2, so I need to move it one more time and annex a 0 into place. Now I just divide. 4 goes into 5 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. Subtract, and I get 1. Bring down my 2. 4 goes into 12 3 times. 3 times 4 is 12. Subtract, 0. I have to bring down my 0 because it is now part of my question. So 4 goes into 0, 0 times. Subtract that, and so I have 130. We've been multiplying by powers of 10, so now let's multiply by a power by 100. So here we need to move this 1 2 times. So same thing in my dividend, I have to move it 1 2 times, which means I need to annex a 0 in. So now my problem looks something like this. So now instead of 11.2, now I have 1,120 because now my decimal is back here. So let's divide this one. Now we don't even have a decimal to worry about, so 7 can't go into 1, so there's not going to be anything there. 7 goes into 11 one time. 7 times 1 is 7. Subtract that. I get 4. Bring down my 2. 7 goes into 42 6 times. 6 times 7 is 42. Bring down my 0. Yes, I still have to go through it, even though this is just a 0. 7 goes into 0. 0 times 0, 0. So my answer for this one is 160. Don't forget, you need the date, the lesson number, problems, and sentence on this. Your lesson number is 3.8. You have 4 problems to do. Do those in your math journal, and I will see you tomorrow.